Let's implement our architecture. Log into your AWS account, and in Services search for API Gateway and open it. You can choose a region here in the top right of the console. I'll use Stockholm because I'm in Europe, but you can use any region you want. For example, Ohio. It doesn't really matter. Here we need to choose an API type for our API Gateway, and we want to build a WebSocket API. The API name can be tic-tac-toe API Gateway. And for the route selection expression, we can use a suggested value, request.body.action. So write that. We'll use this to handle messages coming from JavaScript. Click Next, and here add a connect route and a disconnect route. Additionally, add a custom route, and for the custom route, write game_click, because we will mainly handle clicks in our tic-tac-toe game. Now we want to attach integrations, and for that the integration type should be Lambda. Choose your AWS region. But here we have a problem. We need to select our Lambda function, and we don't have it yet. So first we need to create a Lambda function. Search for Lambda and open it in a new tab. The function name will be tic-tac-toe handler. For the runtime, select Python. I selected Python 3.12, but you can select the newest Python version. For permissions, we can see that we can select a new role with basic Lambda permissions, but we already discussed that we need more permissions than that. So we have to use an existing role, but we don't have one yet, which means we first need to create a new role. To do that, search for the IAM service and open it in a new tab. Click Roles, then create Role. Here we can choose a use case, and our use case is Lambda. Click Next. And finally, let's attach the required permissions. We need the Lambda basic execution role. And we need the API Gateway invoke full access permission, just like we discussed earlier. Click Next. For the role name, write tic-tac-toe role, and finally create the role. Now, go back to our Lambda tab. Click the small refresh icon and select our newly created role. Click the Create Function button and celebrate. You've just created a Lambda function where all of our backend logic will be stored. Go back to our API Gateway tab. Now we have everything we need to finish creating our API Gateway, but unfortunately we have to refresh the page and start the process again. So again, API name tic-tac-toe API Gateway. Route selection expression, request.body.action. Add connect, add disconnect, add custom route. Game_click. Choose Lambda. Select your AWS region, and then select our newly created Lambda function. Do the very same for disconnect and for game click. It might even be a better approach to have 3 different functions, but for simplicity, I chose to implement it this way. Here we can leave production, and we can create and deploy our API Gateway. We have our API now, but we need to click Deploy API again. For the stage, select Production and click Deploy. Now we have the information about our WebSocket URL and connection URL. Later we'll use a connection URL, but for now copy your WebSocket URL, and of course, it will be different from mine. Let's do something fun. Open a new tab in your browser and search for an online WebSocket client. This PySocket one is completely fine, but any WebSocket client will work. Enter your WebSocket address that you copied a few seconds ago, and make sure there is no leading space in front of the URL. Click Connect, and congratulations! You've opened a connection to your API Gateway. Later we'll send some messages from here, but this is a great start. You can be proud of yourself.